Hi guys, and welcome to a new book review video. It has been a while, so today I'm going to be reviewing The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. I have been reading a lot of books recently, but I didn't go into making the video for them, so a lot more are going to come up soon. So, The Rules of Magic. It's a prequel to Practical Magic, which is really popular and had even a movie made about it. I already made a review about Practical Magic, so you can find it on this channel. I think that's just a video I made before this one. So it's kind of a follow-up. So after reading Practical Magic, I decided to read The Rules of Magic. And The Rules of Magic start with the aunt. So they both live in that family house. But when the books start, actually they are young, they are still in their family, and they live, like they also have a brother, which is something we don't know in the first book. And they live with their family, and their mother, who is part of the magical family, actually decided to raise them without magic and kind of erasing everything they are. And I think it's something that seems to be running in the family because they're going to meet a cousin who has the same problem. The parents sort of try to make them forget their Owens and that they have magical power and stuff. So at first, they don't understand really why they are treated like that, like why they have to hide everything they are, why they cannot wear red shoes or dress in black, and they try to rebel against that. And also they are forbidden to fall in love. And that's where the problems start actually, because of course, falling in love is not really something you can control, and the girls are going to get in trouble because of it, especially the girls. The Vincent doesn't get as much in trouble because of it, but the girls really do, and it kind of screws them up really bad because the Owens are supposed to have this curse on them that if they fall in love, it's their downfall and the downfall of the person they love. So all through the book you got to see those adolescents that rebel until they are like let away to fend for themselves basically, and then they decide to embrace who they really are, even so they just sort of give up on the love thing and try to avoid falling in love. But they have this Isabel aunt, another aunt, in that house that they are going to inherit. And when they actually see the rule, when they meet her for the first time, when they see the rules say fall in love as much as you can. And the thing is, they are trying to break the curse by not falling in love instead of breaking the curse by falling in love a lot more. So it's like if you fight a curse by avoiding it, you cannot really win over it. That's a thing I took from the book. It's like if you fight a curse by avoiding doing anything around the curse, you can't win because the curse is going to still be here and haunting you, and you're going to be thinking too much about it. But if you actually try to go through it, you might fight it and break it. So you have all this thing going on, and the girl fell in love with different guys and like really fall really bad. And like I felt sorry for the youngest one because like what happened when she fell in love was just so bad. And it was not technically bad because of her or anything she actually did. It was bad because of the reaction of her parents against it, because they were also so afraid of the curse. So it's like she decided not to be afraid of the curse, but because the people around her were afraid of it, it turned bad. Anyway, so it was a really nice read, it was really interesting, and it went to cover like the entire life of those people. So you have them like from like early adolescence until late age when the sister from Practical Magic actually arrived at the house. So it was interesting, but I got really annoyed with some inconsistency. inconsistency inside the book itself, and inconsistency between the book and practical magic. So the biggest thing I have a problem with is that in practical magic, they say the aunt didn't fall in love after the death of two guys, and that they have the picture of those two brothers that got struck by lightning. So you would expect that those guys were actually the big love of their life. But if you read the rules of magic, those guys are almost insignificant in the book. They appear for just a few pages. They basically are there and then they're dead. And the sister takes some time to recover from that, but not as much as you would expect if they actually were fully in love. For the other guys, the ones I really love, it takes them forever. It takes a lifetime to get over it. They never get over it. But for those two guys with the lightning, it's just like that. In a second, it's like, okay, they're dead. That's so sad. And then it screws them up a little bit. And then they're fine and they find someone else. And the problem I have with that is that they don't have the picture of those boys because they barely know them. Like the older sisters, she actually never met them. Like she was going to meet them the day they die, but they died before she could even meet them. So the thing is, and they don't have the picture of them, so the thing is that discrepancy between practical magic where they have the picture of those boys and the rule of magic where those boys are completely inexistent, basically, is just so weird. Like I was like, okay, they die so fast. Like when they appear, I was thinking, oh, we're gonna know like what happened to them, but then they just die so fast. And the story continues with something completely different, and you're like, okay. So I think for some reason, like when practical magic was written, the author didn't really think about those boys. She just had to have something so that the Hunt don't fall in love or don't have a lover, and then she puts that boy story. But then when she realized, like when she has to write the full story of the aunt, it doesn't actually match in the end. So it was like, okay, it's kind of annoying because it's not consistent, but at the same time I kind of understand that because it's like a backstory for the aunts now, and it's kind of difficult to include that if you want the love part of the curse to have a real significance, unless those boys die later. But if they die later, it's also a discrepancy, so it kind of makes sense. And then you have like little things that happen in the book, like the tomato sandwich thing, for example, is like not consistent. Like the way two people tell the story is just different. So I was just like, hey, before it was like that, and now they remember it and it's different. What is happening? So you have those, and I think it happened quite often in the book. It's not easy to catch though. It's kind of, you have to pay attention very well because the book has so many things happening because it's a very long lifespan of the people. So because it has so many things happening, it's kind of hard to pinpoint those mistakes. But they are there, and like when I found them, I was like, oh, this again. That's not what it happened like a few chapters before. Or oh, this again. Damn. So I wonder if it's because when the thing actually happened, it happened one way, and then when you grow old, you have the memories, but the memory kind of change after a while. So like, for example, your childhood memory will appear one way to you, but another way to your brother in the first place. And then because you grow old, it would change for both of you. So you might have a very different, like, way of seeing things. So maybe that is what actually happened in the book. I don't know if it was like the author really wanted to show that there was like those differences because they are growing older, or because there are like things told by different people. I don't know if it was a conscious choice or not, but for me it's just hard to like avoid remembering those details, and going through the book while the details are changing is a little bit hard for me. So anyway, it was still a good read. It was kind of entertaining, and you can go and read it. Really, it's kind of fun, especially if you have read Practical Magic before. It's way better written than Practical Magic, so that's a good thing. But yeah, it's kind of fun. So it was a good book anyway. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time for something else. Have fun whatever you read. Bye!